So I'd like to talk a little bit about what are the factors that you need to consider in timing your defoliations. If you make the decision to go early, and if the crop allows you to do that, there are a lot of advantages logistically, giving you more options to defoliate that crop and get it off. We want to have our defoliation occurring when it's not too cold. Certainly we have issues with insects and things like whitefly these days, so removing leaf earlier controls that problem. And then also, if you are going earlier, you're starting to avoid those climatic influences like the winter rain that affects grade and the temperatures that are often on your doorstep in those crops. Frost can actually freeze the leaves on and cause problems with defoliation, and sometimes the frost can force the boll open and release tannins from the seed and actually dull the cotton. As a grower, you need to consider the logistics of your operation, trying to time those defoliations so you're actually getting the crop off before all those other factors start to come into play. If you go too early, immature bolls can affect a little bit of yield, certainly can affect quality in those cooler years, dropping things like micronair. Trying to avoid more than 30% immature bolls as defined by your boll cutting technique. Above that number, you do start to affect yield and quality. In instances where the crops are maturing rapidly, there's plenty of warmth and heat and all signs are showing through your boll cutting and your monitoring techniques that things are maturing, you could look to actually go earlier than the recommendations. If you've got the immature problems, I would tend to actually wait. Looking at things like weather and climate forecasts are vitally important to know whether we may be facing cold weather or rainy conditions going forward. Also, monitoring the crop closely at that time of year really does give you a sense of how the crop's tracking in terms of maturity. If you were to go to our Cotton Info videos, they'll go through the techniques that are used to monitor the crop, such as nodes above cracked boll, percent open bolls, or even using the boll cutting technique, which is a very definitive way to determine whether your crop's mature or not, and going to our cotton production guidelines that actually also go through these principles and techniques.